Okay, it's the next day. I hit a wall, and for those who don't know, I have multiple sclerosis as well as ADHD and Asperger's. The MS is heat sensitive, and it got warm yesterday afternoon, so I just had to down tools and walk away. Anyway, I came out this morning after downing tools, and I'm going to stick my camera to this bar. I found I've probably got things fairly right. Sorry if the camera's a bit shaky, it's hanging off a bar. Let's put this bar across the tyres here and have a look. So we're looking pretty level on this side. Now, this is the passenger side one that connects to the drag link. So we'll wander over to the driver's side and put this across the tyre. And that one looks pretty good too. This one looks pretty straight too. So in terms of a poor man's eyeball, I think I'm doing pretty well. So after that, I'm going to get under and I'm going to tighten up those little lock nuts. And then we're going to deal with this, because the other reason this might be pulling to the left is the power steering, because the 6-wheel drives have power steering. The 4-wheel drives often don't unless they've been installed aftermarket. The power steering in this might be trying to correct the position and pulling it off. So we adjust the drag link, which is a link that goes between the pitman arm on the steering box across to this tyre here. That length there determines the position of the steering wheel. So now that we've got the front end sorted out, we should be pretty right. It never looks right when I stand here. It always looks like it's toe in for some reason. So what I will be doing is I'm going to get this rod and make a measurement, put a piece of tape on there to mark that measurement, and check from the front and the back of the tyres to make sure that I'm not getting some sort of weird measurement off the back of these, if the track is wrong or if my springs have shifted left and right and whatnot. So we'll do all that and we'll be back. Okay, so what we've done here is we have a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here that are as lined up as best I can with the width of the tyres. Now I need to see if the back of the tyre and the front of the tyre are the same distance apart. I'm going to need an extra pair of hands for this one. Alright, so I got the financial manager to be the visual reference for me, and we're pretty confident that front and back of the tyres are about the same distance apart. Ideally these call for about 1.2 millimeters toe out, but there's no way in hell in an eyeball setting I can get that right. So this is far closer than it was when we started. We had about that much off the rear tyres. Now they're pretty much the same. So we're going to get under, tighten up those two nuts, then we'll adjust the drag link and hopefully get the steering wheel central. So here we go.
Turning up the knife. Oh.
So hold it steady. There we go. Alright, almost there. Okay, that one's good.
Dad, what's that big part up there?
So this bit,
yeah.
So that's the bell housing. So there's a clutch in there. When you put your foot on the clutch, two pieces open up, and that stops the engine driving the ambulance. And you need to do that to change gears. And this is called the wading plug, so if there's any oil in there, you can drain it out. You put that in if you're doing a water crossing. That's the oil sump. That's where all the oil in the engine is kept. Anything else that you want to know about?
Oh, this part, that part.
Okay, so that big bit is the gearbox. So when you change gears, you're changing a gear in that box there.
And what's that?
That is the PTO drive, the power takeoff drive. And that runs this drive shaft all the way up the front here, and it runs the winch. So when we use the big winch here, the engine drives it. My apprentice has discovered when she turns the wheel that the drive shaft turns. What if I do this? If I turn it in the opposite direction, I'll show you in Lego later how a differential works. But what there is, over in this wheel, over this side, there's a shaft goes into here, and there's a differential gear in here, and this one drives as well. There's an axle inside this tube. They all join together and drive that. The reason this is here is so that if you turn a corner, the wheels can spin at different speeds. So if I turn both of these at the same direction, so you turn yours and I'll turn mine the same way. See, or if I turn the opposite way, it stays still, but if I go the other way, it'll turn faster. See? So I'll show you how a differential works with Lego later.
So what if you when you take out the stand?
We'll put a jack under it first to take the sand out. But yes, it's not good to be underneath when you do that. Loosen these up. Now I have a feeling this might already be at minimum adjustment. Which tells me the steering wheel might almost be a full revolution out. Okay, so we've got the steering wheel in its central position up the top. This pitman arm is a little bit off center, and this wheel here is a bit toe in, which means we need to make this a little bit longer. So I need to rotate that round a bit, which is difficult to do because this is in the way. I can't adjust that with that in the way. So I need to take the top of this steering damper off. What are we? That's not our biggest one. What have we got? 17? That will probably do it. We'll take our steering damper off. Okay, we can pull this out now. Okay, so now we should be able to extend our damper. That's shortening. We want to extend probably a full turn, I would bet. We'll go full turn and we'll check. Alright, so I got out from under here. I checked the passenger side front wheel, which if you're in Australia, that's the left hand side. And it seems to be aligned. The steering wheel seems to be in the correct position. So I think we're going to be cooking with gas. Alright, I've got a job for you, apprentice. You know how to use zip ties? Come over here for a minute. Oi. Come over here for a bit. See these bits? We need to hook them up under here so they don't get snagged. So you need to put a zip tie around that bar and hook up those. You reckon you can do that? Yep, no, that's far enough. Pull it up. Yep. Alright, I think we're going to be at test drive point soon. Let's take our axle stands out.
Just make sure you don't kill yourself.
I won't kill myself, but thanks for preaching safety.
Yep.
Alright. Alright. What's our voltage looking like? Not bad for sitting for 3 weeks. Okay, that one. Let's have a look here. Take it out of gear. Alright. Now, we let everything idle for a bit. We wait for our oil pressure lights to go off, which they just did. Park brake's still on. Turn a bunch of other stuff on. We'll let this idle for a bit. It hasn't circulated oil for a while. See how we go.
Oh, that is way much better.
Definitely feels different already. Steering feels lighter. Let's see.
And it's way much better. My seat isn't shaking.
Does want to drift, but we'll find out. Could be a little bit of adjustment left. So clearly there's a few more things I need to do with the steering system in this and the front end to figure it all out. The neighbour's leaving.
Oh,
So we'll do it in another video, and
steering wheel.
I'm open to suggestions.